Hello, Lily Wachowski here.
Wachowski, that's how you say it. Okay.
I'm glad that people are talking about the movies, the Matrix movies, with a trans narrative. I love that the how meaningful those films are to trans people, and the way that they come up to me and say, these movies saved my life because
The reason why I wanted to talk about this video and play it is because I had this conversation with friends of mine who are like reactionary and buy into like some dumb like anti-trans memes. And I had this discussion where they're like, "Oh, now the Wachowskis are saying that that it's about trans people. Another childhood memory ruined." I remember like that specific sentence. Another childhood memory ruined. And I look at this interview. I don't hear her talking about a childhood memory ruined, right? I'm not hallucinating this, right? She's not talking about a problem with a childhood memory ruined. She's just saying that she's happy that it has meaning for trans people. She's not rewriting the meaning of the story. She's not retconning it. That's what I'm trying to say. She's not retconning it. She's literally just saying she's happy that trans people find meaning, and say that the theme of transformation that happens in the Matrix touches them and and they identify with it, right?
when you talk about transformation, specifically in the world of science fiction, which is just about imagination, it's like, and world building, and like the idea of the seemingly impossible becoming possible, I think is like, that's why it speaks to them so much. And I'm grateful that I can be a part, throwing them a rope to help them along their journey.
Like, this is such a positive outlook concerning the way people feel concerned about the retconning, the SJW-ification of their childhood memories and whatever. Like, she's fully respectful. She's doing it in a respectful way to how other people interpreted and like cis people interpreted it and consumed it. It's also not crazy to think that she subconsciously included trans themes into the Matrix, considering she herself is a transgender and was very likely struggling with those thoughts and feelings herself around the time that they wrote the movie. Absolutely, it's something this is like a spoiler, but it's something she says in this interview later on. She literally says that she believes that she probably had her transness leak into the movie, but in an unconscious way, because back then she wasn't aware of being transgender. It's something she realized about herself later, when the Matrix had already been written and was already out. So, but she definitely believes that it definitely played a role in how the Matrix was written in like more of an unconscious way.
I'm glad that it has gotten out that that was the original intention, but the world wasn't quite ready at a corporate level. The corporate world wasn't ready for it. So when you make movies and it's this public art form, I think any kind of art that you put out into the universe, there's a letting go process, because it's entering into like public dialogue. I like that there's like an evolution process that we as human beings engage in art in a non-linear way, that we can always like talk about something in new ways and in new light. We had, the Matrix stuff was all like about the desire for transformation, but it was all coming from a closeted point of view. And so
yeah, that's what she's talking about the closeted point of view.
Who was like a character who would be, a man in the real world, and then a woman in the Matrix. And, that's both were where our headspaces were.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, the reason Switch isn't that way is because of the producers. They didn't think the world was ready. It was quite ready for that.
I don't know how present my transness was in the background of my brain as we were writing it, but it all came from the same sort of fire that I'm talking about.
Streamlabs is working.
Because trans people exist in this especially for me and Lana, you know, we were existing in a space where the words didn't exist. So we were always living in a world of imagination. It's why I gravitated towards science fiction and fantasy and, you know, played Dungeons and Dragons. It was like, it was all about creating worlds. And so I think it freed us up as filmmakers because we were able to imagine stuff at that time that you didn't necessarily see on screen. Or even the idea of like, how can we exist in as many genres as possible? One of our things that we really enjoyed doing was like sort of genre bending, where you would have stuff that felt like kung fu movies and like anime and westerns. And then we always like loved this scene that Ned Beatty would do in this movie Network, where he would talk about the way the world was, and it was always from this like corporate hierarchical, you know, overlord structure. And so I think in our transness, we were always trying to, like, in queerness, like, incorporate as many things as possible. It's just like trying to visualize within, you know, a much larger, infinite scope of the imagination.
So see, she's not retconning your childhood memories. She's giving a genuine, heartfelt connection between transness and the themes of transformation that in the Matrix, which are, that's like an objective observation. You can't be objectively looking at the Matrix and not see transformation. The transformation from Mr. Anderson to Neo, the transformation from between meat space and when you go into the Matrix. There are so many different levels of transformations happening to every single character within the Matrix. The transformation of the Matrix itself, Agent Smith transforms as well. He becomes this weird virus thing. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it. Why does this video have 3K dislikes? I don't want to be full on SJW, but why 3K dislikes on this? The why is simple. I know. The why is because people are fucking transphobic. People are like reactionaries. They're mad at trans people. Once again, they're like think they're ruining their childhood memories of the Matrix. It's sad. It honestly makes me sad to see this.